Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to our speakers and viewers. Welcome to Decoding Real Politics, our weekly platform for academic dialogue and political insight. I'm Yangzi Tamang, a research scholar from North Bengal University, and I'm truly honored to be your host for today's session. So, first of all, we are delighted to welcome Mr. Nilanjan Banerjee as our distinguished speaker for today's session. He is a research scholar from the University of Hyderabad, and his areas of interest include political thought and theory and international relations. So, as you know, every Sunday, Decoding Real Politics or this platform brings together emerging scholars from universities across India to engage in discussions on some of the most critical political issues of our time. So today's discussion is both timely and significant, that is political turmoil in Bangladesh, implication for India and the region. So before we move into today's discussion, I would like to give our viewers a brief background on the topic. So, as you know, that a couple of years ago, Bangladesh was often referred to as the South Asian tiger or Asian tiger due to its impressive economic growth, industrializations, and overall development. So, it has long been considered a key partner in South Asia, especially for India owing to deep historical, cultural, and geopolitical ties. So, under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, the country witnessed relative political stability, economic growth, and improved relations with India. However, in August 2024, mass protests culminated in the resignation of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who fled to India. This left a leadership vacuum, and the country has since been grappling with political unrest, witnessing violation of minority rights and the rise of extremist Islamist forces. In response, an interim caretaker government led by Noble Laurent Mohammad Yildiz, was formed on August 8, 2024, tasked with restoring political stability, maintaining governance, and organizing free and fair elections. Despite these efforts, significant disagreements have emerged regarding the timeline and scope of reforms among the interim government, the army, and the Bangladesh Nationalist Party. The BNP has demanded early elections by December 2025, arguing that delays could undermine the legitimacy of the interim government and prolong instability. Conversely, the UNAS administration has proposed a broader timeline between December 2025 and June 2026 to allow for essential electoral and institutional reforms. This divergence in timeline has become a major point of contention, raising questions about the caretaker government's ability to manage the political transitions effectively. So, today's discussions will focus on their implication for India and their potential impact on South Asia. So, we are fortunate to have with us a distinguished panel of speakers who will share their insights on politics, diplomacy, security, and the path ahead for the region. So I'm especially pleased to welcome our dear speaker, Mr. Nilanjan Banerjee, uh, which are also joined by other distinguished speaker, Mr. Eamon Serpa from North Bengal University, followed by Rahul Sharma from Central University of South Bihar, and Mr. Raja from Tripura University, each of them bringing unique perspectives and expertise to this today's topic. So with that note, I now invite our speakers to proceed with their discussion.
I think Dai is having some technical issues, so like Rajada can carry forward the discussion. So in meanwhile, I think Rahul Dai will resolve his issues, and hopefully he'll be back after 5-10 minutes, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, Raj, stay.
So, one Hello, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are absolutely
Am I audible?
audible. Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay. So I think our other speakers, Nilanjan and Rahul Sharma, is having some issue with network issue, so they will join us soon. So before that, I think as the topic said that a political unrest in Bangladesh and implication for India and the region. That generally talks about like what kind of impact that India and the region will face after the Bangladesh unrest. So if we see the like different dimension of this implication, then we have to see the different areas. As for example, the economic, the geostrategic, and the other factors. So in the dimensions, we'll able to look at the different dimension. So in this direction, I'll just try to see a small thing. I'll just would like to present. I would like to say a small area dimension through which I can say something to you, to all of you. One is that if you see that Bangladesh and India was having a like a healthy relation, or we can say a golden period of relations between both countries, where both countries have we can say a significant advantage. Sorry, not advantage, significant progress in both countries. So economic and strategic things, but as, as these things happens, what is in that India and Bangladesh having a number of the connectivity projects. Okay, basically they have also started connectivity projects in the maritime domain. As being a scholar who have I have a keen interest on the maritime connectivity. I just try to look into the different dimensions, like how it has impacted the connectivity dimension. Okay, so if you see the micro Aman, I'm having some issue. Okay, can you carry forward this for a moment? I will join you. I'm having some small issue. If you don't mind.
I think we should pause for some time. Like everybody's having problems, so in meanwhile, we'll pause and let everyone gather
Hello,
here.
can you
Then
hear me
we'll
now?
begin with. Yes, yes,
Can you hear me? Hello.
yes, yes. I can.
Okay, okay. Actually, I'm having this voice problem through laptop. So I just connected with you all through this phone only. So,
Sure, you can.
what you people were talking about? Like, have you all started the initial thing?
No, no, no. You can begin with a topic.
Totally, you all are giving me.
Mm.
Anyway, I thank. Thank you so much for having me. Actually, I want to formally want to thank Youngji and Amun Raza and other members also who constantly used to give me an opportunity to share my thoughts over here. So in today's this discussion, I just wanted to throw a light upon this the sub-regional connectivity uh, uh, in this political turmoil. Like I wanted to just throw a light upon the geostrategic significance of sub-regional connectivity in mainly in the eastern part of India, with focus on this Siliguri corridor. And the term connect, if I would start, then yes, we can start with the what is connectivity. The term connectivity itself is a buzzword. We can use this connectivity in many dimensions or in many aspects, whether it is in your government, trade, or even the data science. There are many aspects, perhaps, right? So, in my today's this discussion, I just wanted to connect this connectivity from the perspective of this geostrategic significance. like how this connectivity in eastern part of India is playing a very significant role as far as this India's security in particular and this regional integrity in general are concerned. So that would be my this crux core entire region where my all the entire discussion revolve. If I'll throw a light more deeper than if we can trace this the strategic logic behind this regional connectivity, then we can go date back to this 1980s, mostly the establishment of SAC. One of the paramount objective of SAC was to uh, connect the region. Even after 1991, this LPG liberalization, privatization, globalization that also as far as regional integrity and this territorial security are concerned. There are many policies and initiatives that has been started after the late 20th century. But what happened this reasonably, if I would say, then mid of this first decade of 21st century, the connectivity as far as this South Asia are concerned, that actually disappeared. The reasons are many, but I just focus area. I just what I have found three main particular pertinent reasons. Mainly, you this political approach, then after this economic protectionism, then the geostrategic divergence itself. These are the three core area that I have found as far as my analysis while I was going through with this turmoil as far as in Bangladesh are concerned. Specific focus on this sub-regional connectivity. So the reason behind this connectivity or this array in this region, South Asia in general, and this sub-region of this South Asia, mainly this Bangladesh and India's northeastern region. That is these three four factors. However, looking to India's northeastern region, it has a very big role to play as far as India's long-term this vision or your security are concerned. Like India has already initiated neighborhood policies, BBIN, then after this trade route, right? That connect India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand, and Asian Trilateral Highway. There are lots of things, right? There are lots of things which are coming up. But I want you to focus on the what are the challenges that which India needs to address as far as this eastern sub-region are concerned. Because the threats which we are getting right now is we can't take it very lightly. Whether it is your small threat from this Bangladesh, because within this small threat only there are the other segments or your aspects are also connected. Whether it is your the extra regional power or your other development aspects are concerned. So the challenges which I want to highlight, which I want to throw a light, that is the government's response. What are the government's response as far as connectivity are concerned? And I have found that as far as government's response as far as uh, to connect the India's northeastern region are concerned is very marginal visualized, which uh, is one of the lacuna as far as the threat perceptions are concerned right now. Second is the instability in northeastern region, which is also one of the reason, which can be one of the reason as far as this the threat or your regional integrity of northeastern region with mainland India are concerned. Third is that the imposition of Armed Force Special Power Act, which was initiated by Government of India in 1956. Though the act was very good as far as this northeastern region are concerned, but why about the people of this northeastern region, whether it is Manipur or Mizoram, they used to fear about psychological fear. They have that fear. We are the native, and why don't we govern our own region than this mainland India? So that was their additionally supplement question that I found a top-down approach of authority. Like whatever the policies or your initiatives are coming up from that all are coming up from the top or your government, the central government, and there are very less marginal this involvement of this the people or your native of these northeastern states. Then after the bilateral geopolitical issues that we all are aware right now that the India Bangladesh relations or your this China factor, right? and the evolving geopolitical scenario. That all are the pertinent questions or your pertinent issues as far as this security of this India's northeastern region are concerned. Why I have taken this all the questions, the reason is simple that yeah, when we will build up our own internal security properly, then we can feel more secure as far as this threat which are coming from the external extra region are concerned, whether it is your Bangladesh or your China. We have to develop our region, and we have to secure our region more robust and uh, uh, more integrated, right? So for that reason we need to ensure that security. We all have our own set of narratives, but my uh, point will revolve on this: like, what are the internal challenges and how we can solve these challenges. So these are the points or the insights I will cover in the subsequent discussions. So I'll uh, uh, over this discussions to other speakers who wants to give their insights in other area. So I'll look this. Let's Amun or your Raja will start our initiative. Thank you.
Rajada, are you here? Rajada?
Amun, you may initiate.
Okay then. Yeah, let me just briefly introduce what is political unrest and about our topic for today's discussion or for live session. So yeah, the political unrest in Bangladesh has significant implication for India, like particularly in terms of regional stability, say security, trade, and migration. And Bangladesh, since its independence, has experienced this recurring cycle of political unrest, typically centered around power struggles between two main political parties. Like they are Awami League, led by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, like she is Sheikh Hasina, and another is Bangladesh National Party, led by Khalida Zia. Now, both are not in power. Uh, Recently, Muhammad Yunus is running Bangladesh, and why political unrest, or to understand the domestic landscape of countries like Bangladesh becomes very important while we are talking about Indian, talking through the lens of Indian foreign policy, or what uh, Bangladesh political unrest has bearing on Indian foreign policy. So there are, let me give you one explanation for that. That is, see, in smaller states, like unlike the greater powers who have who are developed enough to control their domestic politics, like in smaller states, they are still struggling with this domestic political stability. So in everything, say in terms of their foreign policy, the domestic political landscape has a very important bearing on the foreign policies. So to understand the domestic political setup becomes very important while we are talking about Bangladesh foreign policy or its implication on India. So in Bangladesh, uh, there are like say 3 to 4 uh, triggering point that triggers unrest in Bangladesh. That are, for example, number one, say allegation of authoritarianism and electoral manipulation. This was um, this was against Sheikh Hasina. This allegation was against Sheikh Hasina's government being authoritarianism, like she manipulated election, and also number two, suppression of opposition and dissent, and number three, say Islamist radicalization, and also attack on secular institution, and another happens to be economic distress and youth disillusionment. And in 2024 national election, BNP like criticize Hasina's government for for that government being government showing lack of inclusiveness, and like they have intensified domestic unrest. So these are the condition that is happening in Bangladesh. These are the political unrest that our live session is supposed to address in this coming minutes or hour. So there are few implications for India that I'll briefly go through. So number one happens to be border security and migration. So these two are that this one border security and migration is what India is fighting still, like all over India. Like we can like we see news every day, like Bangladeshi citizens are being deported to Bangladesh. You know, this threat comes with the political unrest in Bangladesh, the infiltration of Bangladeshis in India. And another is spillover effect in northeast India. Like this is I don't want to make it a kind of statement, but this is an alleged statement that any political unrest happens in Bangladesh, it incites also the unrest in northeast India. For example, instability in Bangladesh can like embolden cross-border militant networks. Example that affects India's internal security and India's insurgency cooperations with Bangladesh, like unlike Hasina, might weaken if uh, friendly or instability takes hold. And another implication happens to be like economic and connectivity project, like all kind of like there is India, like northeast India connects with northeast to this narrow Siliguri corridor. So Bangladesh becomes very important when it comes to India's connectivity with northeast India. So in any case of political unrest in Bangladesh, so it becomes challenging for India to like kind of establish a good connection with Northeast India. And number three, obviously, that becomes is also the another implication for India. Obviously, the most important that happens to be is uh, the Chinese factor. Like recently, there were statement by Muhammad Yunus, like how he was addressing China's and how he was trying to play between China and India. So these are the implications that a political unrest in like in Bangladesh has for India. And in coming hours or minute, we'll try to dive kind of deep into it and try to explain how these things in general or in a broader picture it affects India. Yes, Rajada.
Okay, I think I would like to invite Niranjan to please continue the discussion further. That will be very significant. That will be very nice.
Hello, am I audible?
Raja,
Yeah, yeah, you're audible now. Okay,
Someone is
Niranjan.
someone is saying something.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Someone
yeah,
is
yes.
I'm
saying
I
just
just
something.
saying.
want, yes. I just wanted to introduce you only, Nilanjan Banerjee, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
for the sake of audience, Nilanjan Banerjee is actually the currently a research scholar in University of Hyderabad, and his area of expertise in mainly revolve around the literature and the thoughts, and he having also the interest in this international relations as well as in this foreign policy. So today he's going to throw a light upon this Bangladesh crisis. So now over to you, Niranjan. Just I wanted to introduce, be a part of this. Thank you.
Uh, I am extremely sorry to join late because of certain technical glitches on my side. I thank, first of all, I thank Decoding Real Politic for inviting me, asking me to join this very fascinating group. They have taken a really nice initiative. We need more such discussions, debates, research in our beloved North Bengal. So this is Nilanjan Banerjee from the University of Hyderabad. I uh, thank again Decoding Real Politic to for inviting me. I thank particularly Apurvo who and my friend Montu who first said this to me that and well my another friend Raja is also here. So I have a lot of friends. Anyway, it's very familiar to me. So shall I speak in English or I think Bengali? There might be a Bengali audience too, so I can maybe mix Bengali as well. Raja,
Yeah, yeah, that will be nice.
yeah. So সকলকে শুভ সন্ধ্যা। সন্ধ্যা বলা উচিত না যদিও রাত হয়ে গেছে কিন্তু শুভরাত্রি বলাও যাবে না। সো যাই হোক আমি বেসিক্যালি আন্তর্জাতিক সম্পর্ক বা যেটা আমরা ইন্টারন্যাশনাল রিলেশনস বলে থাকি আমি বেসিক্যালি তার এক্সপার্ট নই। আই এম নট এক্সপার্ট এক্স্যাক্টলি ইন দিস ফিল্ড। কিন্তু ডিকোডিং রিয়েল পলিটিকের আয়োজকরা বড় উদার। দে আর টু লিবারাল পিপল টু কল মি টু স্পিক অন দিস ইস্যু। ওয়েল বাংলাদেশ ইস্যু আমাদের সবাইকেই প্রচন্ড মনে আলোড়ন নিশ্চয়ই ফেলেছে কারণ ইটস আ নেবার, আমাদের প্রতিবেশী হয় বাংলাদেশ এবং তার এক একটি ছোট্ট ছোট্ট ঘটনাও আমাদের যথেষ্ট তার প্রতিফলন ভারতের আন্তর্জাতিক সম্পর্ক বা ভারতের স্ট্র্যাটেজিক এরিয়াতে পড়ে এবং বেসিক্যালি আমরা যারা শিলিগুড়ি করিডোরে থাকি আমরা জানি যে কতটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট কারণ একদিকে নেপাল রয়েছে, একদিকে ভুটান রয়েছে, তার সাথে ডোকলাম রয়েছে এবং একদিকে বাংলাদেশ রয়েছে এবং পশ্চিমবঙ্গের প্রায় পুরো অনেকটাই আমরা বলতে পারি প্রায় ইস্টার্ন সেক্টরটা প্রায় পুরোটাই বর্ডার বাংলাদেশের সাথে। সো ইভেন ইন টার্মস অফ রিফিউজি ক্রাইসিস অ্যান্ড এনি সর্ট অফ ক্রাইসিস এবং যেটা আমন তার আগে খুব ভালোভাবে বলেছে তো যতটুকু আমি শুনতে পেরেছি মানে এখানে জয়েন করার পরে হি হ্যাজ সামড আপ ভেরি ওয়েল যে কিভাবে এই পুরো স্ট্র্যাটেজিক ব্যাপারটা কাজ করে এবং একটা যে স্পিল ওভারের কথাও বলেছে ইটস ভেরি 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 অবভিয়াস। একটা কোনো প্রবলেম হলে যদি একটা সেখানে কোনো মাইনরিটি প্রবলেম হয় so they will have a spillover into the Indian side of the on the Indian side, that is particularly in West Bengal or Assam. So that is very obvious. এবার যেটা আমন আরেকটা কথা বলেছে যে তাদের ইন্টারনাল পলিটিক্স এবং এটা সত্যি খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট ব্যাপার। বাংলাদেশের ইন্টারনাল পলিটিক্স বরাবরের মতনই ভলাটাইল, জাস্ট লাইক পাকিস্তান। ইট হ্যাজ আ ভেরি ভলাটাইল পলিটিক্স এবং আমরা যদি দেখি যতটুকু আমরা অত্যন্ত সাধারণ জ্ঞানেও যদি আমরা দেখি, আমি খুব ভালো যেহেতু আমি বলেছি যে আমি এক্সপার্ট নই এবং খুব ভালো হয়তো আমি কিছু বলতেও পারবো না, তার জন্য বাকি স্পিকার এস্টিমড স্পিকার্সরা রয়েছেন। কিন্তু আমি যতটুকু বলতে পারি যে বাংলাদেশের ইন্টারনাল যে পলিটিক্স আমরা যদি তার ট্র্যাজেক্টরি দেখি তাহলে তার ট্র্যাজেক্টরিতে বারবার আমরা পাই একটা কথা, স্বাধীনতা। স্বাধীনতা আমরা জানি স্বাধীনতা আমরা একবার পেয়েছি 15ই আগস্ট 1947, দ্যাট উই কনসিডার অ্যাজ আওয়ার ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্স ডে। কিন্তু বাংলাদেশের ক্ষেত্রে ব্যাপারটা এতটা সহজ নয়। বাংলাদেশের একটা স্বাধীনতা অবভিয়াসলি 1971-এ এবং তারপরে 75-এর আশপাশে ওই সময় যখন শেখ মুজিবকে হত্যা করা হয় সেখানেও একরকমের স্বাধীনতা, কারণ শেখ মুজিব অত্যন্ত অথরিটেরিয়ান হয়ে গেছিলেন এমন আমরা খবর পাই এবং আমরা শুনতে পাই। তো সেখানে আরেকটা স্বাধীনতা, আবার যখন এরশাদকে ক্ষমতাচ্যুত করা হয় তখন আরেকটা স্বাধীনতা এবং এখনো যে জুলাই বিপ্লবের কথা তারা বলে এটাও আরেকটা স্বাধীনতা। তাহলে এতগুলো স্বাধীনতা, তাহলে প্রত্যেকটা স্বাধীনতার সঙ্গে যুক্ত রয়েছে তাদের ফরেন পলিসি। The foreign policy of Bangladesh is related to the so-called quote unquote independence which they think they have achieved. তো এই যে ব্যাপারটা, এই ব্যাপারটাকে আমাদের সবসময় মাথায় রাখতে হবে যে তাদের ইন্টারনাল পলিটিক্স কিভাবে তাদেরকে এফেক্ট করছে। অবভিয়াসলি প্রত্যেকটা পলিটিক্যাল পার্টির বাংলাদেশে নিজস্ব পাবলিক তাদের ফরেন পলিসির ওরিয়েন্টেশন রয়েছে। They have a different orientations, diverse opinions on what should be their relation to India or to Pakistan particularly. Now obviously China is also a big player in this issue, US তো রয়েছে। সো আমাদের দেখতে হবে যে মুজিবের সময় ভারতের সাথে সম্পর্ক অনেক বেশি ভালো ছিল। তারপরে আমাদের দেখতে হবে যে জিয়ার সময় সম্পর্ক যথেষ্ট আহ, আহ, খারাপ হয়ে গেছিল বলা যাবে না, আমি জানি না, কিন্তু জিয়ার সময় আস্তে আস্তে পাকিস্তানের সাথে সম্পর্ক তারা ভালো করার চেষ্টা করে।
Yeah, I think he is. He has a severe technical issues. I think.
I think yeah, he's joining. I think he's rejoining. Let's wait a little bit.
Amuna, can you please verify if I'm audible?
You are audible. Yes, Nilanjan, you are audible.
কোন একটা কিছুতে আমি আউট হয়ে গেছিলাম, যাই হোক। সো বেসিক্যালি দুটো স্ট্র্যান্ড আমরা বরাবর বাংলাদেশের রাজনীতিতে দেখে আসি। একটা স্ট্র্যান্ড এবং আরেকটা স্ট্র্যান্ড অবভিয়াসলি কিছুটা প্রো পাকিস্তান এবং একটা ইসলামিক ফান্ডামেন্টালিস্ট দের সেখানে একটা রমরমা, এবং আনফরচুনেটলি বর্তমানে সেই স্ট্র্যান্ডটা আমরা আবার দেখতে পাচ্ছি। কার দোষ নয় সেটা নিয়ে সেটা বলা কঠিন। বাংলাদেশের এখানে যদি কোনো স্পিকার থাকতেন তিনি তার মতন করে ব্যাখ্যা করতেন, এখানে যদি কোনো চীনের স্পিকার থাকতেন তিনি তার মতন করে ব্যাখ্যা করতেন, পাকিস্তানের স্পিকার তার মতন, এবং আমরা ইন্ডিয়ার স্পিকার আমাদের মতন করে ব্যাখ্যা করি। সো অবভিয়াসলি শেখ হাসিনা অনেক বেশি অথরিটেরিয়ান হয়ে গেছিলেন, আমরা এমনটা শুনতে পাই, এবং এটা অনেকটাই প্রুভড যে লাস্ট যে ইলেকশনস হয়েছে অনেক বেশি রিগিং এর প্রচুর খবর এসেছে শেখ হাসিনার সময়। 2019 ইলেকশনস, 2024 ইলেকশনস, যে ইলেকশনস গুলোই হয়েছে বাংলাদেশে, প্রত্যেকটা ইলেকশনের সাথে রিগিং এর একটা সম্পর্ক রয়েছে। একটা দুটো ইলেকশন ছাড়া আমার যেটা যতটুকু মনে পড়ে 2008 কি 2009 যখন কেয়ারটেকার গভর্নমেন্ট ছিল, বলা হয় সেই ইলেকশন রিলেটিভলি ফেয়ার হয়েছে, এবং একটা ইলেকশন যেটা 1991 এর আশপাশে হয়েছে যদি আমি খুব ভুল না করে থাকি, সেই ইলেকশনটাকে রিলেটিভলি ফেয়ার বলা হয়। বাকি বাংলাদেশের কোনো ইলেকশনকেই বেসিক্যালি খুব একটা ফেয়ার ইলেকশন বলা হয় না, সে বিএনপি হোক বা আওয়ামী লীগ। সো আমাদের এই দিকটা দেখতে হবে যে তাদের ইলেকশন ফেয়ার না, তাদের ডেমোক্রেটিক সেট আপ ফেয়ার নয়। যাদের ডেমোক্রেটিক সেট আপ ফেয়ার থাকে না তাদের ফরেন পলিসি বদলে যায়, কারণ তাদের ফরেন পলিসি এই জন্য আরো বেশি অনেক বেশি বদলে যাওয়ার চান্স থাকে। আমি যদি পলিটিক্যাল থিওরির অ্যাঙ্গেলে আমি যদি পলিটিক্যাল থিওরির এখানে অ্যাঙ্গেল আনি, তাহলে সেখানে অনেক বেশি আমি একটা ফিয়ার ফ্যাক্টর দেখতে পাই, একটা অনেক বেশি ন্যাশনালিজমকে আমরা অনেক সময় দেখতে পাই। কেন? কারণ একটা শত্রুপক্ষকে দাঁড় করালে, আমরা যদি একটা শত্রুপক্ষ দাঁড় করিয়ে দিতে পারি, সেটা আমাদের প্রতিবেশী দেশ হোক, সে বাংলাদেশের ক্ষেত্রে ভারত হতে পারে, পাকিস্তানও হতে পারে, তাহলে একটা শত্রুপক্ষ দেশকে যদি আমরা যদি দাঁড় করিয়ে দিতে পারি, তাহলে যদি আমার নিজের হয়তো পলিসি ভালো নয়, আমি হয়তো ডেমোক্রেটিক নই, আমি হয়তো দুর্নীতি পরায়ণ, কিন্তু আমি শুধু একটা দেশের জাতীয়তাবাদ এবং দেশকে আমি সুরক্ষিত রাখতে পারি কারণ আমার কাছে শত্রুপক্ষ রয়েছে, এবং শত্রুপক্ষ আমার ঘরের বাইরে বাইরে রয়েছে। সো এই একটাতে আমরা লেজিটিমেসি পেয়ে যাই, এবং আমরা তখন সেভাবে তার গভর্নমেন্টটা কন্টিনিউ করতে পারি। আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি যে বর্তমানে ইউনুস কিন্তু তিনি এই মুহূর্তে, এবং তাকে এই বিষয়ে অনেকে ক্রিটিসাইজ করছেন যে উনি কিন্তু সংস্কারের কথা বলেছেন, কিন্তু এখনো কিন্তু অনেক দিন পার হয়ে গেছে, এখনো সংস্কার আদৌ কি হয়েছে আমরা জানি না। এবং সেকেন্ডলি তিনি কিন্তু ইলেকশন নিয়ে কিন্তু এখনো কিন্তু বিশেষ কিছু বলতে পারছেন না। তিনি বলছেন হয় ডিসেম্বরে করবো, নাহলে পরের বছরের জুন এরকম টাইমে করবো। সো এটা একটা ব্যাপার, এবং অবভিয়াসলি তার সাথে সাথে যদি একটা সবসময় যদি ভারতের প্রতি একটা ভয়, একটা ইনসিকিউরিটি যদি ধরিয়ে রাখা যায়, তাহলে এরকম ধরনের কেয়ারটেকার সরকার যার বেসিক্যালি কোনো কনস্টিটিউশনাল বেসিস যতটুকু আমি জানি নেই, কারণ বাংলাদেশ তার কনস্টিটিউশন থেকে কেয়ারটেকার গভর্নমেন্টটাকে উঠিয়ে দিয়ে দেওয়া হয়েছিল, এবং পার্লামেন্টটাকে ডিজলভ করে দেওয়া হয়েছে আমি যতটুকু জানি। কিন্তু সেই পার্লামেন্টে কিন্তু সে যতই হাসিনা পালিয়ে যাক না কেন, সেই পার্লামেন্টে কিন্তু সংখ্যাগরিষ্ঠতা যেভাবেই হোক না কেন আওয়ামী লীগের ছিল, কিন্তু আওয়ামী লীগ কিন্তু এই গভর্নমেন্টের পার্ট নয়। So the legitimacy of this government is itself in question, though I think most of the countries have accepted this government, but still it's more like a de facto government than a de jure government. তো এই জিনিসটা আমাদের মাথায় রাখা উচিত। ওর জন্য এই মুহূর্তে ভারতের সাথে অবভিয়াসলি সম্পর্ক বাংলাদেশের হয়তো খুব একটা ভালো নয়, যদিও ডে টু ডে কিছু না কিছু ব্যবসা বাণিজ্য পণ্য সরবরাহ এগুলো চলতে থাকবে বলেই আমার মনে হয়, কারণ এগুলো বাংলাদেশের নেসেসিটি, বাংলাদেশের উৎপাদন আমার মনে হয়। সো ভারতের দিক থেকে কিছু হয়তো লাভ হতে পারে, বেসিক্যালি যদি তাদের গার্মেন্টস সেকশনটা যদি খুব ভালো কাজ না করে, ভারতের যে গার্মেন্টস ফ্যাক্টরি এবং টেক্সটাইল ইন্ডাস্ট্রিটা আছে সেটা আরেকবার একটু ভালো, পার্টিকুলারলি ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল সাইড বা এইদিকে যেগুলো রয়েছে সেটা রিভাইভ করার একটা চান্স আমি দেখতে পাই। যদিও বাংলাদেশ তবুও আমাদের হ্যাজ বিন আ ডিসেন্ট ট্রেড পার্টনার। সো আমি মনে করি যে একটা বেসিক লেভেলে সম্পর্ক থাকাটা বা বাংলাদেশের সাথে জরুরি। বাট আমার যেটা মনে হয় যে আহ, আহ, একটা বেসিক্যালি একটা ভারতের প্রতি একটা ভয়, একটা ইনসিকিউরিটি লোকের মনে রয়েছে, বাংলাদেশের লোকের মনে। এবং ইনফ্যাক্ট এটা বর্তমান যে পলিটিক্যাল এস্টাবলিশমেন্ট, যেখানে জামাত ইসলামের একটা বড় ইনফ্লুয়েন্স রয়েছে, যেখানে কেয়ারটেকার গভর্নমেন্টের একটা বড় কেয়ারটেকার গভর্নমেন্টে যারা রয়েছে, তাদের মধ্যে একটা একটা অ্যান্টি ইন্ডিয়া স্ট্যান্ড রয়েছে। তো সেই ক্ষেত্রে সেটা কন্টিনিউ করবে। The only thing that can be good for India is to see how fast the elections happen in Bangladesh. Though the political parties are basically corrupt there, but still it's better to have a democratic setup there. Maybe even even the BNP might want India to interfere, and who knows, they might want India to interfere and just pressurize Bangladesh to get elections done, কারণ তারা যথেষ্ট অধৈর্য হয়ে পড়েছে যে তারা ইলেকশন চায়, তারা পাওয়ারে আসতে চায়। well, will they come to power or not, that's another matter. But except the Awami League, I think it's the BNP which has some network in Bangladesh. NCP, this National Citizens Party, is a relatively new party. So BNP will want to come to power, and maybe India can have some negotiations, and relations might be coming back to the normal. Border issue, well, বর্ডারে টেররিস্ট অ্যাক্টিভিটি কতটা হবে আমি জানি না, বাট at least the situation might not be that serious as Pakistan, but there's always some sort of these issues like cow smuggling and all these illegal trades happening. এই জায়গাটা অবভিয়াসলি আমাদের নজরে রাখতে হবে। এটা শুধু কেয়ারটেকার গভর্নমেন্টের বিষয় নয়, ইনফ্যাক্ট এখন আমি মনে হয় যে অনেক বেশি ধরা পড়ছে। হাসিনার সময় যখন সম্পর্ক ভালো ছিল, আমার মনে হয় অনেক কিছু আমরা ধরতে পারিনি, বাট নাও অ্যাটলিস্ট আমরা অনেক বেশি সতর্ক হয়ে গেছি বর্ডারে, আমরা অনেক কিছু ধরতে পারছি। So that is another matter which we should obviously, I think, and obviously our policy experts are working on this issue. So আমার কাজ রবীন্দ্রনাথ নিয়ে, আমি রবীন্দ্রনাথকে অল্প করে আনবো, বেসিক্যালি কারণ রবীন্দ্রনাথ acts as a soft power in Bangladesh, which used to be the situation during Hasina's time. আমরা জানি সেখানে রবীন্দ্রসঙ্গীত এবং এই ধরনের কালচারাল ক্যাপিটাল বাংলাদেশের অনেক বেশি ছিল। এবং বর্তমানে যেভাবে রবীন্দ্রনাথ অ্যাটাক্ট হয়েছেন বাংলাদেশে, দ্যাটস আ ম্যাটার অফ কনসার্ন অ্যাকচুয়ালি। কারণ এই যে আমাদের সফট পাওয়ারটা, এটা বাংলাদেশের ক্ষেত্রে খুব ভালো কাজ করতো, বেসিক্যালি যেহেতু আমাদের ইন্ডিয়া বাংলাদেশ সম্পর্কটা কিন্তু একটা খুব বড় পার্ট ইকোনমিক পাওয়ার ছাড়া আমাদের কিন্তু সফট পাওয়ারের উপরে চলতো, কারণ আমাদের একটা শেয়ার্ড কালচার রয়েছে, একটা শেয়ার্ড লেগেসি রয়েছে, একটা শেয়ার্ড হেরিটেজ রয়েছে। সো সেইটা কি করে ফিরিয়ে আনা যেতে পারে, দ্যাট উই হ্যাভ টু সি। কারণ অবভিয়াসলি আমরা চাইবো না যে রবীন্দ্রনাথ বারবার হেকেলড হোক বাংলাদেশে। সো দ্যাট ইজ আনাদার ম্যাটার। সো এবং একটা রবীন্দ্রনাথের মাধ্যমে আমরা অ্যাকচুয়ালি বাংলাদেশে এই মুহূর্তে পলিটিক্যাল অ্যাটিটিউড বুঝতে পারি, যে একটা সাম্প্রদায়িক অ্যাটিটিউড, যেখানে হিন্দু মুসলিমকে আলাদা করে দেওয়া, রবীন্দ্রনাথকে একজন বেসিক্যালি তিনি হিন্দু বা এই ধরনের কিছু একটা বলে দাগিয়ে দেওয়া। তার বিপক্ষে অনেক লোকেরা আছেন, তারা প্রোটেস্ট করেন, এমনটা নয় যে করেন না, বাট এই ব্যাপারগুলো একটা রবীন্দ্রনাথ ইজ আ গুড ইউনিট অফ অ্যানালিসিস। রবীন্দ্রনাথের উপরে কখন খারাপ ব্যবহার হচ্ছে বাংলাদেশে এবং কখন ভালো ব্যবহার হচ্ছে বাংলাদেশে, দ্যাট সেট আপ the two things: first, a communal situation in Bangladesh, and secondly, what is their orientation, particularly of the common people towards India. কারণ অফিসিয়াল গভর্নমেন্ট লেভেল তারা হয়তো অতটা কিছু বলবে না, বাট কমন পিপল রবীন্দ্রনাথকে নিয়ে কি ভাবছে, তার উপরে কিন্তু ইন্ডিয়ার ওরিয়েন্টেশন বাংলাদেশের কি, সেটার একটা কিন্তু আভাস, একটা খুব বড় ম্যানিফেস্টেশন আমরা কিন্তু পাই। সো লেটস হোপ ফর দ্য বেস্ট, অ্যান্ড ওয়েল, that's it from my side, I think. Thank you. I am done, Raja. You can speak.
Okay. Thank you so much, Niranjan. Niranjan had like have presented so much things. Had really nice presented, nice saying I can say. I know Niranjan from the college days. He was remain we can say a student who always ask questions. He has always been like we can say he's always try to learn new things, and his I can say his views are very nice and very interesting to us. So as both Aman and Niranjan had said number of the things, I've just tried to add number of the few things. Okay, other uh, as Bangladesh has in the political turmoil, you can say until and unless they will have a election, they will be in an unstable position. Okay, they will start at stability when they will have a fair elections or any elections. So if you see that like what kind of a implication that Bangladesh and India's relation that have been happening, then we have seen that one of the areas that India and Bangladesh having a good relation during the Sheikh Hasina is that infrastructure and the connectivity dimensions. Because from India to the Bangladesh, we can just for example, I'm just focusing on the maritime dimension, the water dimension, and we have seen that India and Bangladesh shares around 54 rivers, and out of these, around 21 national waterways raced in the northeast. So India just started to like more connection to the southeast countries through the northeast India to the Bangladesh. So they started developing connectivity, number of the connectivity projects. But us, the situation in the Bangladesh is now not that good. So these projects, whatever these things, just for example, the Sonamura, that is the Sonamura land port, and even the Akhura railway link, the Khulna Mongla rail links, all these have been in a, we can say what, they are in a halted position, or they are not in a continuous position. So as a result, what happened that like what will be the future of these infrastructures? So it's very tough to say, like, but we can see that if us, these countries has both India and Bangladesh has invested so much money in this project, because even we have seen that India has invested so much aid to Bangladesh in number of the fields, and and also, but these projects have been, we can say, in a like halted position. So the trajectory and the future of these projects will be very difficult to determine. But in this direction, that the connectivity dimension for the maritime, we have seen that after this turmoil, Bangladesh has chosen a new way. Instead of like we have seen recently that India has stopped the transshipment facility to Bangladesh and all. So as a result, what happens? We have seen that Bangladesh has also started choosing a new approach. We can see a new regional approach to the South Asia. They have seen. They have started a relation with the Pakistan. Just for example, they have started after the independence from 1971 to the till 2024. They have never ever, we can say, have a naval or maritime connectivity with the Pakistan. But we have recently seen that they have started connectivity or maritime connectivity with the Pakistan. Even number of the vessels have been shipped. So through what happened, they're trying to find an alternative to India. But the reason, what the problem lies is that whenever they try to find an alternative, that have a, we can say, that create some kind of opportunity, but these things also brought some challenges. As a result, what happened, if we Bangladesh started connectivity with the Pakistan, they have to face a more cost. They have to face more cost. If the cost will increase, it means the companies and all that Bangladesh is operating, they have to incur extra income or extra cost. So as a result, their endeavor to go toward the Pakistan will be decreased ultimately at the end. It can say it can be managed by some way, but it will be more costlier. So this way we have seen that Bangladesh started a new approach in the uh, in the South Asia. So what kind of other implications South Asia will face? Okay, I'll just try to add a small thing. Just for example, if we see the South Asia remain we can say a volatile area. We can say area which remain a paradox of a regional integration. That never, even whatever the step they will take, that will create a paradox. Well, no one country can join a particular country. Let's see the situation of the SARC. The situation of the Pakistan and the China has created such kind of a volatile. So, as a result, what happened? Now Bangladesh is created. Sorry, Bangladesh have been having a political turmoil, and as a result, we are having a not good relation. So as a result, will see that in the South Asia region, a new regional approach, a new regional dynamics we can see, because this will create the India's number of the views that India is now trying to gain a net security provider in the Indian Ocean region. And at the same, they try to become a preferred security partner. But if the situation is remain like this, it's very tough to go ahead. But despite of those things, I have seen a small changes in India's foreign policy. That is the thing that India nowadays, just for example, to post 2010, India was just trying to make leverages or trying to be more cooperative with the South Asian countries, especially Bangladesh. Just see the 2014 water sharing. Oh, sorry, no, it's not water. It is a maritime boundary sharing in the Bay of Bengal. After the International Court of Justice, they have said that they have given 80% of the land of boundary to Bangladesh and around 20% to India. Despite of these things, India have accepted this judgment, and this shows that India just tried to having a more cooperative approach. Such a things also happened that India started giving more aid to the number of the South Asian countries. But these things happen. Despite of these things, we have seen that the countries in the neighborhood have been not more that kind of a good, not kind of a good positive response to India. As we have seen that India having a some issue of Nepal. Recently, we have seen that the way Maldives have approached, the Maldives have so. So as a result, what happened that India has now started more aggressive, a little aggressive than what it was used to be. Now, India just trying to show that if we are giving a more cooperative, if we are not cooperating with with us, we'll have a strict action. That is why India had now closed the transshipment facility. Even we have seen that in the Maldives terms, India have, just for example, India have started banning the going to the Maldives tourists that have hit their tourist, uh, we can say the tourist area dimensions. So in this way, we can say that if this happened, Bangladesh will situation remains happen, this will create a new regional approach to the South Asia, and this ultimately uh, now India have to look and watch approach. India need to look and watch approach. Yeah, now India is having a more realistic approach in its foreign policy toward Bangladesh, but India is also looking like watch and watch what will be happen after the elections and all. But I feel whatever the situation is that Bangladesh have to understand the geographical nature, the geographical reality that they are having. They have to understand that whatever the situation is, India they have been surrounded by Indian three sides, and despite the anti-Indian sentiments in the Bangladesh, I believe this sentiment can they might be changed if India try to have a more realistic and try to we can say more aware that India is not kind of acting as a big brother to Bangladesh. India is something that always try to have a good relation with Bangladesh, as it is a mutual benefit to each other. So with this, I'm just trying to summarize, and I will say other ones to say something out there if they have any other question and all. I think Rahul is having some network issue. So if the other people have any questions and all, we can say right, Niranjan and Aman and all. If you have to say something,
I think we have kind of reached the allocated time for this live session. So, if Yangzidi can kindly join and conclude this session, that will be
I think there will be some questions from question have been done by.
okay.
Okay,
Okay.
should I read if you
Okay,
allow?
sure.
Okay. Okay. The question is, as you can say in the screenshot, oh, sorry, in the screen, please, could anyone touch upon the issue of illegal Bangladeshi immigrants and the recent approach taken by India, pushing how it could affect the already worsening relation between two nations. A very, you can say, a nice question, a very interesting question that has been asked. So it's floor is open. Aman and Ranjan, if anyone wants to say something to this.
uh, this is not a kind of issue that India is confronting right now, right? Since the time of Bangladesh independence, that India has been confronting this kind of this immigration refugee issues. Like say there has been like West Bengal government in part like has this people has allegation against West Bengal government that they are kind of behind this immigration, or say the political unrest or domestic instability that kind of leads to Bangladeshis fleeing to India. So these are not the issues that India is confronting today. And what can India do to like do away with this issue? Like India government has been doing things. Like there are military personnels that they are patrolling the boundaries 24/7. There are things. So the only thing that is going to stop this is the growth of Bangladesh economy or settling of Bangladesh's political turmoil. Until and unless Bangladesh experiences this sort of political unrest, India has to like Dada has said like face this spillover. Like what can India do really to do away with this? Like there is UNO humanitarian organization that will kind of interfere if India tries to do anything out of force. India has been doing this. So there, I don't think like India is like sitting behind, sitting in chairs or looking at this situation. So I think we should let government do this thing, and also hopefully wish like Bangladesh political situation settles, people are happy there. That is the only thing, because if India somehow tries to persuade Bangladesh, like tries to persuade Bangladesh, India has this tag in South Asia. Like whenever India interferes, India are being tagged with this title like Big Brother. So it is very difficult for India to kind of interfere in affairs of its small states. So India has to so diplomatically navigate this problem. Right now there are news all over the internet that are clearly showing people settling in basically in Bangladesh, Assam, like Dada has clearly pointed out, is Bangladesh, Assam and Northeast India that are basically the first in the line to like basically have to receive this spillover. So yeah, it is like center government and state has to cooperate. Like center government cannot do it, or state alone cannot do it. Like in this case, center and state has to cooperate and check out some good plans uh, to really stop this refugee issues. Nilanjanda,
True, true. And you can't really do with spillovers. Very hard.
yeah,
Considering we have big unfenced territory.
yeah, like India
Well,
has been doing things right. Like India has fenced part of Indo-Bangladesh border as well, right? So, like if India somehow fence all the boundaries with Bangladesh, then India, like it is also it creates again it creates problem for India itself.
Yeah, that that is the nature.
Montu's question is very obvious. International actors like Pakistan's ISI and China, well,
Obviously, yeah,
they,
yeah.
they are
Like if
already
India,
there.
yeah,
They
like
are
But they are
India,
already
more.
there.
uh,
the proliferation of the Jamaat Islami anyway shows that there's ISI is always already there. The narrative has changed. Now they think that it's like Pakistan was a very nice country. Like it's like almost like they have. It's a very nice country. It was India who made a conspiracy and created all those problems. Well, China will obviously be there, but China will not be that much in the front. It will want business relation. The thing that matters for China is business.
Yeah,
For
like
Pakistan, well, a lot of more things matters for Pakistan. Uh, Proper terror launch pads and all this stuff, it matters for them. For China, it's basically which business that matters. I think. Let's see if Amon can say something.
like
I
for
think in
example, like
China,
Nilanjana has touched upon this thing, uh, like if somehow India tries to curb this issue, right? For
mhm.
example, say fight against refugee or come out with some stern actions, like if this action of India that will naturally bring in other actors like Pakistan, China, Bangladesh,
Hmm. Yeah, that is
right?
the
Like
thing.
India cannot like come out with some stern against like we are going to fence all our boundaries with you, Bangladesh or Nepal or say Bhutan or anything. There are countries who are willing to come here.
Yeah, that is the
Like
thing that has been
sometimes
happening.
India cannot do that. And
So,
in this note, like Happymon Jacob has he has wrote like a long way back. He has an article in Foreign Affairs that says the end of South Asia. He comes
mhm.
with this conclusion that like India should forget about South Asia. Like you cannot do anything about South Asia. If you have to engage in South Asia, bring in other actors like Japan, South Korea. Let them engage. Bring in your partners to engage with them instead of like inviting China through your action. Bring in your good partners so that if there is any foreign intervention in these countries, those are your partners.
Yeah, I think another point is a very interesting point that India can also, or the China is like increasing its presence here. India can also utilize these things to increase the presence of its partners, good strategic partners who have been always been a good relation with India.
Yeah.
That will ultimately increase India's presence in the region and India's influence in the region too. And the question that is on to Bangladesh's future political trajectory, I think the future trajectory is very, we can say, ultimately, it seems that BNP will come in the what in the power if the election will happen. We don't know who will come, but the chances are high. But we have also seen that such a situation cannot be predicted. So we'll move to the third questions.
These are the very
Recently,
interesting question as well and very difficult not just for us to answer but for government to act as well.
recently the Hindu
You know, in like through humanitarian corridor, like you have to invite lakhs and
yeah,
lakhs of refugees in your space,
hmm.
and you are already suffering with population, and you are like bringing in lots of refugees in. So these are two different aspects. Like humanitarian happens to be a different aspect, and being being having this realist approach is it's very different.
Now,
And it
among
is
the very funny part is like Bangladesh people we are having a spillover, and Bangladesh
Yeah,
is like they want the people from Myanmar. Like they can't
yeah,
because their resources are very strained. They itself have a huge population. They want the people to go out. They can allow other people to come. That's again a big issue. And obviously, if their army is objecting, they have some logic of objecting. I don't know about this exact issue, but
exactly.
I don't
obviously,
think
and
they can do that.
the tussle is very obvious.
Okay,
The
okay.
tussle will be very obvious.
In
So
Myanmar,
like
there is this entire Rohingya Muslim settlement there, right? And it is very like it's very like heart touching to see their condition as well. So as a person, we have a good sympathy towards them. But if you look through the lens of government, like government who has to control the huge territory, who has to look after their subject, their population. So humanitarian corridor, I don't think now Europe is suffering because of this humanitarian corridor.
Uh, I want to say something. Uh,
That's the irony of humanitarian corridor.
yeah,
See
yeah.
how Europe is turning into.
So, what do you think that this humanitarian corridor that is happening? What do you think? What kind of a trajectory this will happen? The Unionist government and this
This
the.
is how a country draws this international sympathy towards them. I don't
Hmm.
think the country will do anything robust, has this robust or rigid action against it. But that's how they bring in the sympathy. Like, see, Bangladesh is doing this, Bangladesh is doing that community, for this community. But in a real in ground picture
We
shows
can
the
say
ground reality shows different picture altogether.
so just we can say that just they're just attracting the global attention, or just they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a real nature that they're just trying to say that we are just having a more cooperative or more saving working toward the humanitarian effects. And same way we have also seen a number of the minority concern in the Bangladesh also. I don't know how what they are doing, but okay, this is also a good thing.
See,
So another question.
these are the reason behind, like you said, minority unrest. These are the reason behind political unrest in Bangladesh. Like I have
Hmm.
pointed out, right? So see, Europe countries like Poland and other countries, they are closing doors to refugee.
Another question. I think there's another last question is there. Hmm. Okay. And also, both
This is
disagree
the
with the
same
title.
follow-up question.
How this different? Acha, okay. So, thing is that as we have seen that in Bangladesh, India, we are having there's a like conflict going on now. Like when will the election will happen? So, could you please suggest how this agreement between two affects? So, do you think this can be an impact on India-Bangladesh relations, the elections?
There is. See, like the nature of small states is such, like domestic politics has a very important impact has significant impact on its foreign policy. Right. For example,
So,
let me give you an example. There is one narrative of Nepal. In
yeah.
Nepal, Nepalese government, like monarchy came to end in 2008, and they set up an interim government, a drafting committee to draft constitution for them. And a deadline date was 2012. They had to complete the draft of constitution by 2012, but then didn't do that. They could not complete that. In 2014, the earthquake hit Nepal, right? And what earthquake really showed was the incompetencies of Nepalese government to tackle this disaster, this national emergency situation. So Nepalese government has this discontentment towards the government, like government is unable to deal with this tragedy. They are unable to cope up with this disaster. So there is one narrative that to get rid of this public discontentment, Nepalese government somehow, in span of three years, they drafted a constitution and they promulgated a constitution. And I think India was not against the constitution, but India wanted a slight change to accommodate the demands of Madhesis there.
Mm-hmm.
So when India with Jaishankar went to Nepal and asked Nepalese government like to accommodate Madhesis demand there, it gave a point for Nepal to lash against India. And what happens when Nepal lash against India is the public forgets the government incompetency in managing the disaster. Now their focus is all shifted upon India.
Yeah.
Now see how domestic institution setup is being translated into foreign policy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the case with third world countries. Like third world countries, they are struggling with this struggling with is struggling with having a stable government in all third world countries. Like, see the picture of most of the third world countries, they don't have a stable government there. The government is being changing here and there. Now and then, the government is being changing. Like they have different issues to address. There are people, discontented people. Their economy is low. So the topic itself, like the today's discussion, the topic itself says like political unrest in Bangladesh or in any third world country has a greater implication, has impact on their foreign policy. And in case of Bangladesh, their political unrest will have India has to bear the large amount of spillover as against the other neighbors of Bangladesh.
Okay. I would just like to add add one point in these questions, that like like this effect, like the elections, what kind of elections impact will happen. As I say that this impact the elections is that once and all, like if the elections will take place in the Bangladesh, that will ultimately pave the way for the stability in the Bangladesh. If there is a one government in the Bangladesh, ultimately that will lead to what happened, that India can like reformulate its foreign policy, whether a good relations with the Bangladesh, or try to refigure any kind of a solutions that have been happening and problems happening with the Bangladesh. So once this governments, the elections will happen, that will ultimately pave the way for the stability and a good and options opportunities for the both the countries. So these interim governments ultimately have been, we can say, providing on a static. They have been providing a static situation to the foreign policies. There's also the last question, I think. Or we, so there's another question, I think, Aman. India is a third world country too. Do you have any knowledge? Is it okay?
So when I say third world country, I am basically talking through the lens of Muhammad Ayub's. Right now, we don't ascribe or subscribe to this terminology like third world country right now, like India is developing, like we have this propensity like to India is developed country or this country, but see at the core of India, what is India basically actually? Like nationalists can say India is like it is growing,
Fourth,
India is
fourth
superpower,
largest economy.
the most largest democracy, but don't get
Fourth,
wheeled by this assumption. Like, let me, I don't want to be about this, like, it will be very difficult for me to think. Like, I'm basically talking in terms of Bangladesh, not India.
okay,
Like, India,
nice. I think
definitely,
Bangladesh.
every country is growing, right? Every country is growing.
Another question is of Fahim Rahman, that is Bangladesh is growing, our exports are increasing, and Bangladesh are growing, our exports are increasing, and our remittance are increasing. We don't need anything from India. Bangladesh is also growing.
Obviously, see, for this, for example, let me go back to few news. Like there was a news 2 to 3 days ago. Like Mohammed Yunus, practically, he sent a letter to Donald Trump saying that please relieve tariff in our exports,
Hmm.
because 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 of those tariff we are having difficult to sustain our business. Practically, see, Mohammed Yunus has beat Donald Trump. So, growing economy, or I don't think Mohammed Yunus, if he is an intellect by himself, he is a great economist. I don't think he would have done that. There's a difference between trade negotiation and
Okay, I
we'll
would just
end
like to add.
discussion.
Okay, let me say something. I'm on last. I would just say, yeah, Bangladesh is growing. Okay, their export is also growing, and their remittances are also increasing. But they need to show the real data and all that they have been seeing. that Bangladesh is growing. Obviously, after that is turmoil, before the turmoil, their economy was have been halted. They have to understand, they have to see the real things. Okay, that if like yeah, we accept we can say that yeah, Bangladesh is like is growing their own way. They have a good garment industry and a different dimension, but they have to understand that as a country, they can as a country, their economy is not always been like the self-independent. They have been also dependent upon the number of the other countries. India will always remain a country that have been helpful to Bangladesh in number of ways. Not only about the 1971. I'm just saying one. Okay, the number of the things that we have to see. Uh, and their exports are increasing and their remittance are also increasing. That is the thing. But in that scenario, India has always been a country that was helping them in number of the ways. The garment industries have been India is remain one of the country that have been uh, we can say market. They have been giving their garment industry to go the third other countries, Nepal, Bhutan, and other countries. So this is the way through which we can say Bangladesh have been Bangladesh was developing. They will developing, but they have to understand that India was something that have been helping them, and this
No,
was a mutual
actually,
benefit.
yeah. See, like Bangladesh is growing, right? No one can deny the fact that it is not growing. But how it is growing has to do with how country is growing. For example, getting lots of remittance doesn't mean your economy is growing. If that happens to be the criteria of a country's development, Nepal gets 70% of income through remittance. See, and what Bangladesh major export is machine products, right? And what are the other things that Bangladesh engages in? I don't think there are anything. And another thing basically is why it comes under the category of third world is, for example, say it is the dump yard of ship all over the world. I think the guys know that. So, if economy is growing, growing economy would not do that because country needs money, and they are going to the extent that okay, you dump your ship here,
Yeah,
no problem with us, right? So like Bangladesh needs India more than India needs Bangladesh. The question is as simple, I think.
yeah, that is the thing. I
Bangladesh
also know.
needs
I
to
think
think
there is a mutual
on
benefit.
this.
That will,
Yeah, yeah. There is mutual
I have
benefit.
seen
The
that.
question
Yeah,
of mutual benefit, but
hmm,
let it put it this way: Bangladesh needs India more than India needs Bangladesh. For example,
yeah, that is the
India
thing.
Modi
We have to understand.
government banned some trades with Bangladesh, like it kind of restricted ports, the Kolkata port to Bangladesh. No, India, there is no such loss for India by doing that, but there is loss for Bangladesh.
Yeah, that they have to understand. It is not
Mm, yeah.
that India has always been like they try to be having a bad relation with the Bangladesh. India has always been a cooperative, and this is the situation that has been shaped. That is that India never wanted and never think for that, na. So even we don't think that Bangladesh. Some question was that don't compare with the Pakistan. Okay, don't compare with the Bangladesh. Yeah, we accept that we don't have a comparison with these countries, but they have to also understand that the situation that some kind of a relation interconnection have been happening between the both countries that we don't having. Okay, even after that, so they have to understand.
Yeah, there. See, thing is very simple and simple as it gets. Like India, Bangladesh needs India, and India it really does need Bangladesh in terms of geopolitics. But in terms of economy, India can somehow do without Bangladesh, right?
Yeah, I
And
think
that's the nature of big power. Like you don't give things for free. You don't give things for free. That's why you are powerful. There's a difference
and
between philanthropist and
this is
billionaire, right?
yeah, this is a natural thing that have been nothing is free.
Yeah, our
And
No,
countries.
can I add something?
okay,
Sure.
okay, please.
Yeah, see, no country will give Bangladesh anything for free, and but it depends on Bangladesh, and it's
Except
up to
China,
their
maybe
own.
unhindered
Yeah,
thing.
that we have seen what happened in Sri Lanka and Maldives.
Yeah,
So
the
what
cat.
they can do, what China can do, we have seen that first of all. Secondly, it's up to Bangladesh's own common sense and their own economic strategy that they should understand that buying things from India, which is just at hand, at its border, might is a much cheaper option than many of the other countries from which they might be have some
Sure.
fascination to buy. So that is a big thing they have to understand. Buying something from Pakistan might cost them much more than buying something from India. And anyway, Pakistan
and
can't
and
provide all the things. So
and
this and another thing is like he said that Bangladesh is growing. Now, growing is a very relative term. You can't say that what sense it's growing. Obviously, it has a good GDP. It can have a good GDP. That's another matter. We have to see how much that GDP was in Hasina's time and did it drop or did it increase actually. Secondly, we have to see what is the per capita income of that country. That is another matter. Thirdly, growing is always not on economic terms. Growing also depends on a proper constitutional setup, political constitutional setup of a country. What is growing today can get shattered tomorrow. So things are very
yeah,
volatile in that sense. And
and growing from
remittance, well, people are there. So abroad, they are sending the remittances. That's fine. We all want a growing, prosperous Bangladesh, a stable Bangladesh that helps us only because
yeah,
we
yeah,
want a
Yeah,
secure borders.
simply,
So
yeah.
yeah, that's it.
As a country, we need a stable Bangladesh that will ultimately benefit both countries. That is
yeah.
something what.
Bangladesh should look for itself first of all,
Uh,
to like need to take care of its domestic stability, right?
hmm.
And sometimes like need to knock on Muhammad Yunus' head as well. The way he gives a statement, it does nothing
Yeah.
but harms Bangladesh itself.
Bangladesh people, I think Bangladesh people have to understand the reality thing is that India was never
Yeah.
against the Bangladesh, and it is not that India was always in India wanted we have a fight and all. India is something that want progress for all the countries and
India always wants,
definitely
India
first.
always, yeah, India always wants peaceful, stable neighbors, right? And India do not want their neighbor suffering, having this political turmoil in their domestic in their countries. Like India always hopes for. That's why we have this good neighborhood policy. Like we initiated in SARC, we have this SARC, BRIMSTEC.
So okay, with
Yeah.
this, I think
Now these things can go on and on and on and on and on, but at the to conclude, like political unrest in Bangladesh, India has to. There is a greater implication for India, only
I
for
think
India. The thing is only for India. That's why this topic is we took up this topic in this like in this live
so.
session.
I think we having a time issue. It's been already
Best
one
of
hour.
luck, right?
Yeah. So I will say
Yeah,
Yangji.
we just wish best of luck.
Yeah, two.
We'll be very
Yeah.
glad if South Korea is in our next door.
Yeah.
Done.
Okay, done. Carry on, Didi.
Okay, thank you so much to all our speakers for their valuable insights and thoughtful contributions to today's discussion on political turmoil in Bangladesh, implication for India and the region. So it has been a deeply engaging sessions covering various dimensions from the internal dynamics of Bangladesh political unrest to its wider impact on India and South Asia. So, thanks to the rich perspective shared by our panelists, I believe our viewers have gained a clear understanding of the complexities involved. So a special thank you to our guest speaker, Mr. Nilanjan Banerjee, for sharing his time and expertise with us today. And I also extend sincere thanks to all our fellow scholars who actively participated in this discussion. So, to our audience, thank you once again for joining us. Your support and interest keep decoding real politics growing as a platform for serious youth-led academic dialogue. If you found today's discussion meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future sessions. And especially thanks as well to Mr. Apurva Sen for allowing me to host today's session. So we will be back next Sunday with another important topic and another set of dynamic voices. Until then, stay tuned, stay curious, and good night, everyone.
Thank you.